Welcome to Vintage Ventures, a new series on the channel where we will be traveling the US in search of antiques and collectibles and showing you very unique items along the way. Today we are taking a look in Nebraska as we venture into the Brass Armadillo Antique Mall and later stumble upon a 50s inspired candy shop that has quite more than just candy inside. This is one of the coolest places that I've ever seen, and you will be seeing it upcoming shortly in the video. If you know me or have been watching the channel for a while, you know that I have a deep love for antiques and collectibles. I don't know if it's the fact that you can spend hours here, or I'm a firm believer that there is something in an antique store for everybody, no matter who you are. One of the first things that I gravitated towards in this antique mall was the VHS section. If you guys don't know, it's kind of up on the wall and you're not gonna be able to see it in this shot. I have a massive collection and I got a couple recent pickups right here. It's just a guilty pleasure that I like to collect for, and there's a couple that caught my eye when we were in this antique mall, and the first one was Gremlins 2. Unfortunately, I'm kind of regretting I didn't pick this up. I'm back home now. I'm not gonna go and make this 6-hour drive to go and pick up this tape again. It was 15 bucks. On eBay, it goes for about 20, so it is slightly discounted, but these VHS tapes, half of the fun for me is the hunt, where I'm going out, I'm finding the bargain deal, and I'm getting these lower prices, and I wasn't exactly sure if I wanted to drop the $15 or not, but Gremlins is one of my favorites. My entire living room is caked with 80s horror and decoration and movies and media memorabilia, so it's really up the alley and something that I wanted to add to my collection, but unfortunately with the Gremlins 2 tape, I decided to pass. Another tape that I found, by the way, is called Lips, something Lips. You'll see, I can't remember off the top of my head. I thought it looked cool, and I was too busy recording the tape because I just thought it looked cool with this guy holding his gun and this broad is on her knees, just to find out that it was a X-rated film on a VHS tape. So that one unfortunately didn't go home, and I think it would have been even more funny if I accidentally bought it because it was only like $5 or $6 just to pop it into my VHS player and get a little surprised when I come home. So I'm just glad I passed on it. Moving through the store, I just want to give you guys a little taste of some of the very neat and unique items that Brass Armadillo has to offer. I mainly showcased obviously things that I'm interested in, whether it's old vintage antiques or nerdy type of collectibles, VHS, comics, video games. One thing I found which is very ironic was an old vintage Pac-Man lunchbox. I have the thermos actually in my collection, but I'm missing the lunchbox. I would have pulled the trigger, and I probably should have, because around my house I've seen them for $70, which is way overpriced, and this one was very reasonable. It's just the issue is we're kind of on vacation, and since we're out of state, I've already spent a lot of money on hotels and transportation that I was a little stingy, and I ended up passing, and I probably should have picked up this lunchbox. Pretty much we didn't stay very long in the antique store because we ended up hitting the Lime scooters, which is basically a rental transportation in the city. I don't know if they're probably all over the United States. I don't know why I'm even saying this, but moral of the story, while Sophia and I were driving around and touring the town, we stumbled upon a building called Hollywood Candy that we've never seen before, and it looks super weird, so we decided to stop and take a visit, and let me tell you, we were absolutely blown away. Wait until you see what was inside. And when I tell you, I couldn't be more prepared when I walk inside. This is the first image that you see is not only a massive candy store in that 40s, 50s, and inspired kind of cafe, but there is items everywhere. It is almost to the point that it's a little overwhelming to look at everything, but at the same time, it is absolutely what I personally look for when I go inside of a store, because you know that it's going to be an absolute experience, and you're going to spend a ton of time here looking at every little item that's all over the place.
Where did we stop in?
We stopped in at a candy store.
Yeah, it was some random, I was gonna butcher that. It was some random candy store, and we were zooming around on the Lime scooters outside, And then we were like, this looks really cool. I'll have to like overlay a clip of like the outside or whatever. I don't know. And then I found a bunch of pinballs. That's why I'm gonna show you. I'll flip it around because there's like this little back section. And then back here, this doesn't even do it justice. And then if we go around, I'll just quit yapping and show you. It's really cool.
Now we're gonna give you a little taste and a little walkthrough as we make our way through this store. As you can see, here is Mike and Sully from Monsters Inc. There is so much to look at, and half of this store is also a museum. We're not even gonna cover probably 5% of the items that are in the store, so if you're ever in the Nebraska, Omaha area, you need to go and check it out. And we're entering right now one of my favorites, which is the EM, or the Electromechanical Pinball Museum. I used to collect these a ton, and I've personally transitioned into more modern pinball for my collection, but seeing a massive old school 40s, 50s, and 60s pinball collection like this, and the artwork and the sounds and the chimes of the machines, how can you not be in love? We just need to take a moment here to look at some of the artwork. If you guys have never played any of these old machines, try to find a location near you. It is definitely worth the play. They're a lot slower, you know, you gotta be used to that. It's old school, we're talking 50s and 60s like I mentioned, but it's worth every dime and nickel that you're gonna put into these. Over here, they did have a little bit more of a modern section of pinball where we spent a little bit of time too, because I haven't played a handful of these games. Like Sophia's playing Shack Attack. It's actually one of the worst rated pinballs of all time, ironically, but of course I had to give it a try. And then if we turn around as well, on the upper back wall, they have an entire collection of vintage pinball. This is actually where it like originated, hence the word pin. It literally was just old nails and pins in wood that you would launch a ball, it would bounce off, you would try to get it into little scoops or little holes to score points. It's come a long way, to say the least. Another massive collection that is within the store is Pez. I'm not into Pez, but let me tell you, I had no idea there was so many different Pez's out there. If you're into that, it is insane. And it's just a little glimpse to it, some of the artwork and the posters that's around. Like I said, we're probably only going to scrape about maybe 5% of what's in this store. The videos and the photos don't even do it justice. I mean, this shot right here is one of my favorites. So much to look at, and it transitions into a movie theater. There's a vintage movie theater that you can rent. I don't even know what to say. The place is just bonkers. If you guys have time to come out here, Sophia's dinking around on this classic car, but one of my other favorites too to show you here, there's a ton of life-size figures like Elvis. I believe this guy here is from Terminator. It's almost like you're within the Wax Museum. I couldn't tell if this guy with the bugs or the bees in his mouth is from 8 Mile, if you guys have ever seen that movie. If I'm wrong, let me know down below in the comments. This is probably one of the most realistic Freddy Krueger bust or head mounts I've ever seen in my entire life. We got Killer Clowns from Outer Space, Ghostbusters, The Mummy. So much to look at. Mars Attack. I actually have an opportunity to buy this, not from the store, but from a different guy. You may see that in an upcoming video. I don't know if I need it at the house. I have a lot of stuff to show you guys in later videos, but like I said, I just wanted to give you a little bit of a glance of what Hollywood Candy in Nebraska, Omaha, or Omaha, Nebraska has to offer. So much to look at. I know that was short and sweet, but like I said, there is more to cover than we could ever photograph or videograph to showcase you guys. I just want to mention, if you guys ever come in the area, I know I said that a few times, but if you're ever out in the Omaha region, you need to check out this store. I just wanted to use this video as a little bit of a taste or a showcase for you guys so you can see what Hollywood Candy is about. I give it an easy 12 out of 10 recommendation if you're ever within the area. Do not miss it. There is so much more. I know I'm just repeating myself, but seriously, probably one of the best experiences that I've ever ran into without actually realizing what I was getting into, because we stumbled upon it by accident, and it was probably one of the best things that I've ever stumbled across. Probably one of the best things that I've ever stumbled across. I just can't talk. So thank you guys so much. I will catch all of you in the next episode when we hit the road and go check out other places to show you guys, because there is so much out there. See you in the next one.